We'll start with our breaking news story. Better get your luggage ready. The UK has announced it will be taking 11 countries off its travel red list. Countries including South Africa, Botswana and Angola were added to that list in what many described as a knee-jerk response to the South African government's alert about the Omicron variant. Let's talk to our UK correspondent, Olly Barratt. He joins us now live from London. So, Olly, we've been waiting some time for this decision. Any reasons why it's finally been happening, or happened rather, and why these countries have been removed from that red list?
Yes, Sajid Javid, the UK Health Secretary, is speaking in a debate in the House of Commons, and he made this announcement, and he said the following words in making that announcement. He said, now that there is community transmission, and he's referring to here in the UK, the travel red list is less effective, he says. Notice that he says less effective there. The implication from the UK government is that it does feel that the red listing of South Africa and those other African countries was effective at one point. The policy was put in place by the UK government because it believed that you couldn't stop Omicron arriving here in the UK, but you could perhaps slow its seeding and buy you some time to put some measures in place to slow the spread of Omicron in this country. Sajid Javid making that announcement in the House of Commons. It's effective from 4 a.m. tomorrow UK time. Testing requirements will remain in place for South Africa but other destinations too. So people wanting to make that journey in this direction would still need to take a pre-departure test and then test after arrival here in the UK, and they'll need to isolate until they get the results of a negative test here in the UK. But Sajid Javid making the announcement in the House of Commons in a statement in which he is confirming the rapid spread of Omicron here in Britain. Given that rapid spread, the UK government feels that it's effectively pointless, is how some sources are describing it, having any of those countries on the red list at all. So they are all coming off.
All right, so let's just get clarity on it. You say that you have to test before you arrive in the country. Once you arrive, you test again, and then you'll have to quarantine until you get that result. But there's no 7 or 14-day isolation that has to happen now.
Exactly right. So once you get to the UK and you have to then take a test, a PCR, within 2 days of arriving here, and you have to isolate until you get that negative result. Now, that might sound like a huge imposition, particularly for people wanting to come for a short holiday, for example, but you can get tests on arrival at the airport, and you can get tests that give you results in a number of hours. So it's quite possible, although expensive, that people will be able to fly into the UK from South Africa, get tested very quickly, and really have their negative results, hopefully, by the time they get to their hotel or the family member that they are staying with. So yes, the testing requirements stay. All of the countries come off the red list. One crucial point is that the UK is keeping its red list in the sense that it's retaining the ability to put countries on it if it feels it needs to, but at the moment there are no countries on it at all as of 4 a.m. tomorrow morning UK time.
Yeah, it was interesting because there were calls for it to be scrapped overall, right? So that means that the government will obviously keep this a look-and-see approach, isn't it? Because this means that they will ultimately be able to add countries back onto that list if they see fit in the future.
Exactly right, and that will be a bone of contention for the tourism industry, which has said for months now it's that uncertainty that's really hurting us, because people just can't ever really be sure that they can book a holiday somewhere and then come back without having to head into hotel quarantine when they return if things change while they are away. One other interesting point that is not yet resolved is that Sajid Javid was asked in the House of Commons, what would it mean for people who've come from South Africa and some of those other African countries who are currently in hotel quarantine? Can they now leave? He wasn't able to give an immediate answer to that, but said he's looking into it urgently and said he hopes to have an update later today. He was then asked again about that very same issue. Another MP in the Commons asked him if people would be reimbursed for their very expensive hotel quarantine stay. Again, that would affect potentially South Africans currently holed up in hotels in and around London. He said again that that would be an issue that he was looking at. He said, I'm very persuaded by that idea. So we await some confirmation on both of those issues. Sajid Javid, though, clearly minded that it would be quite unfair for people to be able to start flying in from South Africa from tomorrow morning, and for some people who've already got here in hotel quarantine to have to remain in that hotel quarantine.
Yeah. All right, we're going to leave it right there. Thanks for the update. Appreciate it. Olly Barratt is in London.